What's going on, YouTube? Happy Thanksgiving. I know it's for some of us, depending on where you are around the world, it's already passed, but yeah, happy belated Thanksgiving. But I wanted to do, there was a video that I wanted to do on 3D printing. It's been long overdue. I know months back when I just started posting videos on YouTube, someone had commented about, you know, that someone saw, you know, my 3D printing rigs, and they requested that maybe I should do a video on 3D printing. And I thought, you know, it's not a bad idea actually, because, you know, I could show how it's very beneficial, not just for RCs, you know, just normal, you know, household items in general. So I'm gonna show how it's, you know, save me money and you know, save me some heartaches, and you know, some designs that are already out there that I was able to print it with the, you know, the benefit of having a 3D printer, and some, you know, some designs that I've actually designed myself. Just very simple designs that help me along the way in RCs. But yeah, I'll just get right into it. So I guess I have a couple items in front of me. I'm gonna start maybe with let me start with, you know, the crawlers. So for the crawlers, you know, this is a 1/24 scale. It's very popular. It's the Axio SCX24. Sorry, I have a bunch of stuff to show. So with this with this particular RC, there's a bunch of upgrades and mods that you can you know, print out for this bad boy. Me personally, I actually upgraded this a whole bunch, you know, all the hot racing Metal Gear parts, drive shafts, links, but these have some rock sliders, and you know, I've printed them out, and this was a design that I already found on Thingiverse, but it you know, it's cool, man. You know, it helped me, it actually helped me with some of my, you know, just some of the backyard crawling. It looks cool. There's a light bar with no lights up here that comes with this particular model. This is the Deadbolt model. I wanted to do, me and my son will play this, you know, around the house, and we'll do hide and seek with our crawlers. So I mounted a little FPV cam, and this was a FPV mount that I found for this camera on Thingiverse. This mount was made specifically for this vehicle. It takes the place and it mounts in place of that light bar, and it's great, man. You know, I just, you know, rigged something up and just hooked it up to my ESC, and my son and I would just look, you know, I have two phones, so then I'll hide and he'll use the other phone, and we'll just be looking at the phone on the app and try to guess wherever we hide, you know. But yeah, this thing, man, like it helps out, you know. Instead of just trying to, you know, ghetto rig something, it was nice to have this it's kind of adjustable. It'll tilt too for this FPV mount. So that's about it for this guy. For camera, I have another one right here. So I'm gonna start off with this 24 scale 2-post mount. This was cool, man. I saw, you know, this file is very hard to find. I don't know where I found it, but this was already on Thingiverse, and I thought it looked cool, man. So I printed a bunch of these for our for these display stands for the crawlers, right? So it's pretty cool, you know, sitting up on a 2-post lift, which is really nice, you know. So, you know, some of this stuff is just just pure looks and just having fun with scale models. But then, you know, some of them are very beneficial too. So like for this Jeep, I printed this angry grill, which is pretty cool. I love that on Jeeps. It looks very aggressive. This is another thing you'll see on Jeeps, which is a snorkel. Printed that guy. This is my daughter's crawler. And then I printed a roof rack, which is pretty cool. Sorry, I'm doing this one-handed, guys. Yeah, so it goes on like that. There's a tire mount that goes in place of the Axial logo plate in back of this Jeep, and you're able to mount the spare tire in the back, so which is pretty cool. This particular file, I was able to pay for on My Mini Factory. I forgot who has this mount, but it's pretty cool, man. It's nice to support the hobby, support the cause, and support the people, the individuals that, take the time and put, their personal time and hard work into designing something, to make it easier for us, so that way we don't have to do the legwork. The 3D printing part is fairly easy once you get, to tuning your 3D printer. That's a no. I'll get into that in a bit, but that when your 3D printer is all dialed in, it's pretty much good to go. You can just start, just printing whatever the hell you want, but what's nice about it is, like, when you pay for these, some of the stuff that you can see yourself printing a lot of. I mean, like, this file was maybe like $1 or $2, so it's not bad. You support the people that do it, and saves you the time from designing, because even designing a small part, I'll get into that as well. That can take some time as well. So kudos and shout out to those guys that make it easier for guys like us that want to print stuff. Again, I printed out some rock sliders for this Jeep, this SCX 24 Jeep. This is the Rubicon. So yeah, man, that's some of the stuff for the little crawlers. Something that I what is it? I printed out, like, this is another thing that I printed out from Thingiverse. Is a very I like this particular style, this particular model. It's slanted, so I mean, it's not like full vertical, you know what I mean? So that way it it's easier, it's a little bit more friendlier, when you're trying to, like, navigate on your phone or do what, do as you please, or whatever you do on your phone. But yeah, man, this is nice. They had this particular stand has several files. It actually has different there's different sizes of the gaps, depending on how thick your phone is. Some phones with case, without case, but I printed a bunch of these, man, and they're just around my home. These work great on tablets. My kids use it sometimes, when they're just snacking and they want to watch some of their stuff, some videos on their tablets, and they'll just put it on here. I mean, it works in landscape too, so it's great. It's awesome. I like this. You're probably gonna notice that I have a lot of black and white PLA. For me, I didn't, I have several other colors. With the other colors, I haven't printed out anything that I would really need using those colors. Lots of this stuff is just for, like, household and my RCs, and usually the colors white and black usually does the job, and that's the thing too with filament, right? These are printed all in PLA, by the way. That's the most common. It's one of the most common filaments out there that a lot of people print with. It's very easy to print with. It's very forgiving, you know. And then you got the more intricate stuff like TPU. You know, that's like the flexible filament. You can print phone cases with them. But yeah, man, this is a phone stand that I printed. Let me see what I got here. I have this white mat because the tablecloth is black, so I wanted to make it easier and make sure you guys can actually see the 3D printouts. Another thing that I printed out for my kids, you know, we got them a Nintendo Switch for Christmas. The kids don't know it yet, but you know, for the Joy-Con, for those of you that are familiar with the Nintendo Switch, the full-size Nintendo Switch, the Joy-Cons, the actual controllers on the side, they come out, and usually when you're trying to with more for adults, but when you're trying to play with the Joy-Con, it's very small and tiny, right? So you know, instead of buying the controllers for it, I decided to just, you know, print one out. Again, this particular Joy-Con holder was already on Thingiverse, which made it really easy. I just popped the file in, put it in my slicer settings, and you know, started printing away. So I printed several of these because I got several extra controllers for the family to play. But the Joy-Con just slips in here, and it'll make it easier, you know, when you're playing with your, you know, whatever game you're playing with on the Nintendo Switch. So this is pretty cool. Right now in the world that we live in with the pandemic, the coronavirus, I have a lot of, you know, my mom, she works in the dental, she works at a dental office, and I have some, you know, with a lot of, well, pretty much everybody, you know, that has to wear a mask. My mom in particular, she has to wear a mask, like double mask. You know, she wears like a N95 mask on top of the, you know, the regular cloth mask or whatever. I mean, I know she doubles up on her masks, and you know, I only wear my mask, you know, when I'm out, you know, out and about, and even then I try to like limit myself when I'm out. So for those people that are wearing it, you know, full days, you know, 9-10 hours at a time, a lot of them, you know, they say that their ears start to hurt. So I printed some ear savers. So I printed I printed a bunch of these, you know, and just given out to family and friends. And the you know, the loops for the mask go, you know, depends on the size of your head, but you got different you know, different placements on here for your mask, and it just goes in back of your head. You know, I printed the hearts for the girls. But yeah, you know, this was useful, you know. Printed this out. These are ear savers for the masks. So this is another useful item right here. That's pretty much about it for as long as like the household items that I've been printing, or you know, stuff that is pretty much like a everyday use type of deal. Let me see. I'll do the monster truck next. So for my Axial SMT10, this is the body mount, right? So typically your body mount, your body would go on here. Raise your camera a little bit. Your body mount would go on here, right? I mean, your body would, let me try and get it right. So your Lexan body would just sit on top, and then you would put your body clips, you know, you would put your body clips once your body is on. So this is a very you know, very simple design. This in particular, this particular one I designed myself. It's very simple. You know, I didn't want it, you know, I didn't want it too complicated. And then I realized that I actually saw a similar body mount that, what's his name? Oh, Tony from CCXRC was using. I don't think it was very similar to this. I don't know if it was like the same exact, you know, style, but he was using some Velcro mounts. The ones that the company that sells something that looks pretty much exactly identical to this is CPE, is Crawford Performance. So they have body mounts that are pretty much exactly like this. You know, they sell it for like $15. I'm not sure if it's just for a pair or what, but for me, yeah, knowing that I have a 3D printer, $15 I felt like was kind of steep for me. So, you know, I can print out hundreds, maybe even, you know, couple hundreds of these, you know. But I am loaded with a lot of filament. I have a shit ton of filament. So I because I do have a lot, doesn't mean I just print random stuff. I try to, you know, I still, if I do print out something, I make sure that I can put it to use. You know, I don't just print out random stuff. When I actually do start printing random stuff is just when I'm actually designing something. I'll do a test print just to make sure. And sometimes I don't, you know, print out the entire 3D print all the way. I'll just get it up to the point where I need to see where I need to make adjustments, and then I'll stop the print and then, you know, fine tune it from there, and then so on. But yeah, so you know, you will put this on, you know, and then you put this, pretty much acts like your RC body, your Lexan body, and then you will put your you know, you will put your body clips on. Let me see, how did I do this? Oh. So yeah, so actually like this. These body clips I bought, they have that slight angle to it. So that was kind of how to work around that. But yeah, so I had it, you know, I designed this where it's just above the post, not too high. You know, you don't want it too high, then it starts raising your body and eventually it'll look funny. But I have one already made that was made for my Gravedigger body. This particular body mount goes in the back. This was removed because I'm using a truck body. I'll show it in a bit, but yeah, this is pretty much it. Then you put your Velcro on here, and then you will put the, you know, the Velcro that, you know, you put your Velcro on here, you put the other Velcro that's going to mount to the body, peel it off, stick your body on, and then it'll stick to the body, and then you'll have, you know, pretty much an exact placement of where you want your you know, as far as the mounting of your body for your RC body. I also printed this sway bar. So for monster trucks, you know, the front sway bar is pretty much, you know, I know Tony from CCXRC mentioned it. It's much better with the front sway bar. So I actually tried it without and with the front sway bar, and you could tell, you know, you could tell that there's a difference. But this this particular see if I can, this piece right here actually mounts to the front end, and it's nice. This one I do remember because I made this. Sorry, I don't know if you can see it really good. Yeah, see this 3D. Sorry that this is black, the tablecloth, but Full Throttle RC. So shout out to Full Throttle RC, man. He actually just came out with a video not too long ago. he made a 24 scale of a monster truck, man, a mini monster truck. It uses the HBX Devastator RC. You know, it pretty much utilizes, takes all the hardware, like at least a good 95% of the hardware, and he Full Throttle RC designed a body, a chassis, and you're able to print it out. You know, it's on I believe it's on Cults3D.com, so check them out, man. You know, I'm very tempted to do that, but I got so much other projects, so I'm like, man, I got, and with New Year's coming up, you know, New Year's is also something that I'm very, you know, into. So you know, stay tuned for that. And yeah, man, so you know, probably when I probably when I have some other free time, then I'll probably go ahead and try to tackle that project. That'll be a good, you know, that 24 scale, man. Monster truck is perfect for indoors, just like these crawlers, man. These these things are perfect for indoors. You know, my son and I will grab some of his toys, just grab random stuff, pillows, boxes, and you know, we'll just start playing in the house. You know, especially when it's here, you know, here in Arizona, when it gets really hot, you know, it's not the best, man. So when you're indoors, you want to, you know, and you want to entertain yourself, these are like the perfect sizes, you know. But yeah, so I have you probably noticed from my other video, for those that watched it, I had the Gravedigger body on, but this was you know, this was actually advertised as a basher body from eBay, and I you know, pretty much, yeah, I was like, that's, you know, that was something that I was looking for. You know, I just wanted basher bodies because I'm lots of times, man, if you're gonna be bashing, these don't, I mean, the paint, you know, the shine, the finish, eventually that gets all that gets all torn up, you know, when you're playing in the dirt, you know, ramping it off ramps. So these were perfect, you know. I bought a blue one as well, so for really cheap, you know, because like, you know, the the licensed bodies like Gravedigger, Bigfoot, you know, Bigfoot's from Traxxas, but you know, those bodies can be like nearly $100, 80 to $100, you know what I mean? So that can be pretty steep for most of us. So these were, you know, these are got for a really good deal on eBay, and they work out. You know, I had to cut the back for the SMT10 chassis, but you know, that's a common thing that most people do anyway for the when you're running truck bodies on a chassis like this. But this, man, this saved my life, you know, because you know, you're trying to let me actually remove the body. So you know, it gives you more free range of like the shock where you want to mount your shock. You know, with the sway bar back here, there's a front mount, the stock mount where you would mount right, you know, your sway bar. That kind of, you know, that depending on where you want to shock mount your shocks, that this could get in the way. So this was very helpful. So thank you again, shout out to Full Throttle RC on that. So here's my body mount that I designed, and already put the Velcro on here. So I put the Velcro on here, went to Walmart, grabbed some industrial Velcro, you know, put the other half on here, peeled it off, and then, you know, that's how you get, you know, just stick it on, and then you just got the perfect placement. So yeah, so this, you know, this is very useful. You know, you know, when you're playing with you know, with any type of RC car, truck, buggy, whatever it may be, anything that has a body and clips, depending on, like, you know, I mean, on how long your runs last and how often you're messing with your vehicle, this, you know, taking off the body clips, you know, obviously a lot of them have 4 body clips. That can, you know, that can get pretty tedious, man. Like, so I was, you know, that's kind of what drove me to you know, going the Velcro mount route. So yeah, you just put it on there, sit it on there, and yeah, man, you can lift it up actually. Strong Velcro. So the back doesn't have any mount, but it's fine, it holds. There's some cutouts that I still have to make on this vehicle, but yeah, it's very beneficial. So yeah, so I printed a Velcro mount for that. let me see, for the RC bolt, let me see if I can let me get the Rage out, and then I'll show you some parts that I printed on that. All right, so I know you guys remember this baby. So this is the Rage, the Marlin. So I want to first talk about these little mounting plates. So this is very, you'll find them, I'll show you in a bit, but like on the Vector, they have a bunch of these plates, but they use them on a lot of boats. You know, it's a common part that you see, same exact part, same exact design. But you lots of times you'll see these parts, and you know, they usually have the ESC, or they have the receiver. You know, even for the batteries, you know, that they'll use these to mount those items. But I went ahead and just took measurements of the current, you know, here's the Vector. So let me see if I can. So you get a bunch of these plates right here. I don't know if you can see. See, one came off. I'm in the process of gluing that back, but I pretty much took one, and I took the design. I took the measurements and just replicated it, and then I made my own pretty much simple design. And then you know, I don't know if you can see, but like there's a tie strap that'll go in the middle. So I printed a bunch of these. You know, that's very useful. This one actually has one right here for the ESC, and then I have two for the battery packs. And then this right here is the new so this right here, I don't know if you can see it. This is a mount for the flex shaft tube that mounts onto the bolt. So I actually had a design one, and then you know, made sure that it would support the angle. So a lot of this stuff is like trial and error. You know, sometimes, you know, you get it on the first try, sometimes you don't. You know, like for this rate, like for the turn fin, I actually couldn't find the mount that would mount onto this bolt without, you know, without trying to drill new holes, patching up the old holes. I wanted to use the existing mounting holes. So I designed my own part, and for this one, it actually came out on the first try, you know what I mean? So I just went back and then beefed it up, you know, and then I printed out at a pretty much 100% infill. That's the infill is the density of the 3D print that you're printing out, and you know, it's pretty much, you know, how much, you know, material is within the actual 3D print, you know. So you know, for anything that's gonna see, you know, that's actually gonna be seeing movement or any type of action, I try to print it at a higher infill. So this worked out great, man. It's beneficial. So yeah, I mean, that's something that I printed out for the bolt. Something that I printed out recently for the SR80 was this latch right here, man. This thing broke. You know, this thing broke. You know, the front nub broke off, but I mean, I can get away without putting like a little tube or a little, you know, like a little pin in there. I mean, I can get away with that, but I'll probably end up putting something there. But this thing right here, it wouldn't latch anymore because this whole thing broke. But this is a brand new piece, man. I can show you a bunch of reiterations that I had to make. Sorry, again, one-handed. But yeah, I mean, you could see, like, testing out lengths and height, and you know, the design within the actual bracket. There's, you know, it's not just like a cylinder type. You know, there's actually like a little rectangle in there because of how this top piece is, this top piece for the latch. This part, I don't know why it was so complicated, but yeah, you know, that's something that I printed out recently. I actually printed this right here. This is a boat stand. I printed this RC boat stand and just cut some tubes so for, you know, for some padding. But yeah, man, you know, I didn't have boat stands, so I needed a boat stand, so I printed that out. This was already, I believe this was on Thingiverse, and all I did was just shorten the measurements, you know, to my liking. But you know, here's yeah, this is my other Velcro mount, so that's actually has to go back. But yeah, man, though, there's a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? The 3D printing it's almost endless, man. You know, again, you know, you can print little fun stuff like this, display stands for your crawlers, for your boats, you know, not just for RCs. Again, you know, shoot, like, you know, when I'm on a, you know, when I'm on the kitchen island eating, right, and I'm just watching just random videos, or you know, just doing normal stuff, you know, on the phone, this helps, man. You know, again, this thing right here, you know, this, don't mind this my nozzle actually melted this. It sat on this. This was a failed print. But yeah, man, it's a lot of stuff that I feel like I would turn to Amazon first and buy. I would actually go and see if there's a file out there for 3D printing. You know, if the file's out there, then great, you know, and if not, then, you know, depending on what it is, I'll try my best to try to replicate a part or design my own part, you know what I mean? And that's actually, you know, that's what makes it fun too, you know. And the whole 3D part, you know, 3D printing, man, the community for it, it's huge. You know, it's pretty much like RCs, you know, like anything else, like any other hobby, it's very huge, you know. I actually got into 3D printing first before I got back into RCs, and you know, man, I have no regrets, you know what I mean? You know, you know, 3D printing is awesome. But you know, even so like for my 3D printers, I've actually, sorry, walking. So, sorry guys. My battery died. So, as I was saying, so like for my, you know, even my 3D printers, right? Like, you know, I printed out this filament guide for my, you know, for my filament. This particular 3D printer has a separate control unit box, and I pretty much, you know, I designed some parts. A lot of the parts I took from you know, various sites, and then I kind of like just, you know, some of them were kits, and I took some pieces of a kit, and I just pretty much, you know, put it all together and made this all-in-one unit, you know, like this, you know, this casing for my LCD screen, the legs, that's all 3D printed. You know, the holder for my power supply, for all the electronics, there's actual mounting plate there. So my filament, I mean not my filament, but my extruder knob has a little knob with a middle finger. But it's fun, man. I mean, you know, there's a lot of stuff you could do with 3D printing. It's you know, I must say there's a lot to learn, man. When I first got into 3D printing, I went almost like 4 months, like literally 4 months nonstop, 24/7 around the clock. You know, I took the time to learn my printer, you know, to actually fine tune my printer, you know, because you can throw a file on your 3D printer and you know, and it'll print, right? But you know, the printing part is easy. You know, there's this thing called the slicer. That's pretty much where you import your file. It's a program you import your 3D file into, and then you know you can make, that's where you can make your adjustments, right? You could, again, you could change your infill density. You know, you can choose to have supports to support the print. You know, there's so much you can do, but learning your slicer too, and how it operates and how it goes hand in hand with your printer is another battle. You know what I mean? So I had to learn a lot. You know, so I was going nonstop around the clock, man. You know, Monday through Sunday. You know, losing sleep. You know, some people might call me crazy, but now, like, these printers, you know, I have 3 of them. You know, one is stored for backup, but they're all tuned. You know, I mean, I can literally design a part or grab a file from online, and I'll just put it in, pop it in, and, you know, put in my slicer setting and send it to print. You know, these are ran. I control these remotely now via Raspberry Pi. So there's a Raspberry Pi underneath, and yeah, man, I monitor all my prints. I can adjust the fan, the temperature. I have little cameras to monitor prints, man. I control these remotely from my phone, so it's great. You know what I mean? Here's a phone holder that I printed for this this little FPV receiver. Just mounts on your phone, and then you can connect via app. But this is what we were using for the crawlers. But yeah, man, there's so much stuff you could do with 3D printing. You know, again, not just for RCs, you know what I mean? Like, you could, again, household items. You know, I printed some Mother's Day frames for my girl's office, and you know, I mean, for Mother's Day, and I printed this little baby Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. It's just like pretty much a display model for her office, and you know, it's good. You know what I mean? Like, if you're able to, you know, it's awesome. If you're able to get a 3D printer and you're up for tinkering and putting the time into it, I can tell you, man, it's worth it. Like, if it's once you get to know your printer and tune it, everything takes time, right? In life, everything takes time. Once you get it to where it's at, you're golden, you know? So, like, again, you know, these things, lots of times I'll turn it on. I won't use it for a couple months, and turn it on. You know, I'll do a little test sprint to make sure everything's working nominal, and man, then I'll load up my file, and dude, you know, I'll just print away, you know, and yeah, it's awesome. So, you know, if you're able to have one, you know, if you're able to get one, I highly recommend it, you know. But again, it's not, you know, it's not for everybody, but it's really cool, you know what I mean? But for RCs, man, definitely help me out, you know. I can even show you like some tool holders that I printed. Like, these are 3D printed, man, you know, for my MIP bits and stuff, and my RC 4-wheel drive hex drivers. Like, these are awesome, man. And you could even print hooks too, man. You know, there's a bunch of stuff that you can print. You know, I printed this holder for my caliper, you know. I don't know what else to say, guys. I mean, it's awesome. 3D printing is awesome, you know what I mean? But again, it can occupy a lot of your time, you know. A lot of RC guys, you know, obviously, whoever watches my channel, I mean, obviously they're into, you know, RCs, and a lot of those guys can testify to RC taking a lot of, you know, it can take up your time. So can you imagine that plus 3D printing? You know, I got too many hobbies, you know, it's hard to keep up. I also reload, you know, I reload my own ammunition. I build my own rifles. That's another hobby that I never touched in a while since I've had the kids, you know what I mean? But, you know, it's so much to keep up with. But ever since I had the kids, you know, RCs and 3D printing, you know, it's been it's been on the top of my list so far. Just a top of my list as far as priority, you know, over my other hobbies, just because, you know, it's something that the family and I can enjoy as a whole. So, you know, another thing that I remember printing was some drumsticks. You know, my son got some, I think for last year's Christmas or his birthday, he got a drum set. Lost his drumsticks. Immediately was like, Dad, can you print me some drumsticks? And I printed him some drumsticks. You know, so yeah, man. I mean, whatever you could think of, you know. Again, you know, before I hit Amazon, we shop a lot on Amazon. Before I hit up that website, I'll just, you know, see if I can print it first, you know. And don't get me wrong, you know, sometimes it for some people it'll just be worth it buying the product, you know. Like sometimes it'll cost, you know, $5 for you to buy it versus spending 10 hours on printing it, you know. But for me, the time doesn't bother me, because if it takes 10 hours, 14 hours, 24 hours, it doesn't matter, because once it starts printing, you just let it do its thing, you know. Once the initial layer, the first layer, and once everything is just printing and operating smoothly, man, just let that thing go and find other stuff to do, and before you know it, it's done, you know, it's done printing. So, but yeah, man, I know this video is long, you know, because there's a lot of stuff that, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm missing a lot of more stuff that I 3D printed, you know. But I just wanted to that's something I wanted to show you guys, you know. That's something that I kind of wanted to share with you guys. I was, you know, I try to do a bunch of, you know, I was trying to get the main stuff that I've been tinkering with lately and show how it's helped me, you know, like my boats, the crawlers will touch once in a while, and then obviously the monster truck. But you know, this is something that I printed literally like less than a week ago. But yeah, it's awesome, guys. You know, I hope you enjoyed, you know, I hope you enjoyed some of the prints that I showed you guys. Sorry again if it was too long, you know. You know, this might be a boring video for most people, but again, I thought it was, I myself thought it was pretty cool to share. So yeah, if there's any questions that you guys have, you know, there's a lot of people out there that you know, that just does strictly 3D printing. So I mean, you know, if you guys have any questions, I'll try my best to answer it in the comments. If not, you know, there's a lot of videos out there that can answer a lot of people's questions. But yeah, man, hope you guys enjoy it. Peace.